On the dailies this morning, and with me we have Suleiman Bashir and Bernard Wakoli. So let's just go straight to the Standard, where we start with the headline: Raila's big U-turn on Prime Minister post. And this, of course, is according to this story. ODM drops push for executive Prime Minister and single 7-year presidential term. And this, according to the Secretary General for ODM, if this article is anything to go by, is out of the BBI report. They realize that no party can push for what they want, but agreeing that we can make adjustments here and there, that being one of them. Bernard Wakoli, your thoughts on this, and maybe just to compare the difference between a powerful Prime Minister and one who is not so powerful.
A powerful Prime Minister mostly works in countries with the system like monarch or a president who is a ceremonial. But in our case, we are looking at a prime minister who is appointed by the president, then becomes powerful. It's very ironical because when people go to vote, they elect a president, they entrust their vote and their power with to the president. So this president should be held accountable to them. But if now we go to vote, we elect a president who is less powerful, then appoints a prime minister who is more powerful, then we'll be relegating, the president will be relegating our powers to another person, which should not be the case. But looking at the scenarios or what's happening within the BBI circles and the extension of the BBI task force, I look at it as something that maybe the report that was launched by the president did not really capture what the political elite, a section of the political elite wanted. And there's fear that maybe we might be having another round of view collection and development of another report, which will really beat the logic, because if this report has consumed over 10 billion shillings, and sometimes I wonder where this money is drawn, because when the budget was being read in June, we didn't have an allocation for BBI. So if this money is being spent like that, in excess of 10 billion, then we have another, then they say we went again to collect views to reach many people, which means it will consume more money than what was spent the other time. And collecting another views means developing another report. So what will come of the report that was launched vis-a-vis the other report that is going to come out of this extension? So those are the concerns that Kenyans should be worried about.
Okay. Bashir, do you think Kenya is ready for a ceremonial president?
You see, at the moment, as a country, we have had the presidential system. We are complaining that it is not working for us for very many reasons. I think going forward, we have two things here. The BBI report, as we have it, is just a report. It's basically referred to as a way of, it's a reflection of our aspirations as Kenyans. We shall expect more and more propositions from the political parties going forward. I think, as a country, for us to say that we are now prepared for a parliamentary system, we must have a parliament that is reasonable and accountable, a parliament that adheres to the rule of law, a parliament that focuses on the provisions and principles of the Constitution and Article 10. I think what we have right now, the ODM party specifically, is not content with in the event that we are to have a referendum, or in the event that we are to amend the Constitution through the parliamentary process. ODM has hinted that it has no faith in the Parliament, in the National Assembly specifically. This tells us that we already have questions against the members of Parliament that we have as we speak. For us to have a parliamentary system, any functional country or any functional system with a parliamentary system ought to be a good parliament, a parliament that the citizens have respect and confidence in. I think the other thing that I should mention is this. Just to avoid Kenyans or our country spending so much money, let us look at the provisions of Article 255 of the Constitution. The Constitution tells us the specific amendments that will call for a referendum. In the event we do not have those, in the event the provisions or the proposals in the BBI report or any bill that will come in future not touching on Article 255, the ones that call for a referendum, let us have confidence in our parliament and let us go the parliamentary way to avoid incurring lots and lots of expenditure. We need money for roads and other important ventures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. And Bernard, I know we are getting closer to Christmas, and of course, there's going to be a bit of a break, politically speaking. But it looks like 2020, we're going to kick off with BBI being the main thing. Maybe just a summary of what you foresee happening, politically speaking, especially in regards and in light of the Building Bridges initiative and report, given that the BBI team was given an extension.
Yeah, you know, BBI is going to be a big thing in 2020, given the fact that, you know, there was expectations of opposition, especially from the Ruto side. So the throwing in of the towel by the Ruto supporters and Ruto himself saying that they are ready to go by to go by the recommendations, and they want to support it. And again, there was now this when he suggested that we can go parliamentary way, there was that suggestion that now we should go the referendum way. We leave power to people to decide what they want in this BBI and everything. So again, Ruto retreated and said we'll go by what the other side wants. So it has really disarranged the mindset of the other side, because I think for former Prime Minister was trying to set a stage for the 2022 election to have a confrontation or a test of what will come out of a situation where he's in contest with the deputy president before 2022. So when he's saying that Ruto is also trying to move goalposts, then it becomes very weird for him. But I know by next year it's going to be a hot cake. I know it's going to, Prime Minister is a schemer. Former Prime Minister is a schemer, and he knows what the kind of ball he's playing. But you know, Ruto being his student, previously having worked with them, he knows what is like a chessboard. So they're just playing this chess, and Kenyans are the victims, because we don't know exactly what's happening. We don't know, in fact, even the task force, we don't know terms of reference that the extension is all about. We don't know the term limit. We are just told that they will give preliminary, I don't know, in January, something like that. But again, the extension now throws a lot of disbelief among Kenyans, because most Kenyans are going to lose faith in this task force.
All right, Bashir, what do you foresee coming up, given that there's that extension? Of course, we're waiting for the Gazette notice for us to know what their terms of reference are, and even the BBI task force is very cagey about what they're there to do. But of course, this being Kenya, we already are speculating. But what do you foresee in 2020?
I think speculations won't end until another time when this document will be graduated into a more serious thing. Look, in the year 2020, once we get to 2020, that will be about 2 years to the general election.
In fact, 1 year, just 1 year.
Yes, so what will happen is, either of the following is going to happen. In the event we are going to have a referendum, because we are normally run by a system of political leaders as a country. In the event we are to go for a referendum, for one to conduct a referendum, there is that process of signature collection. It's a process that will take some time. That means they will have to kickstart that ball immediately from 2020. In the event that will not be the case, and in the event we are going through the parliamentary process way, that will equally be a lot of stories that we shall be having going forward. But I can tell you for a fact that what we have heard in the BBI report, what was shared with us, will change tremendously in my view. It is going to capture the aspirations and wishes of the political class. So what is going to happen is, going forward, we shall either have a referendum, a specific opinion captured, like in the case of the Punguza Mzigo, or a bill that will be crafted to be presented to Parliament. Those are the two instances we expect.
So you foresee the BBI report changing in the hands of that task force or that committee as we speak?
Clearly, that is what is going to happen, as we are told that they're going to panel beat. In the name of panel beating the report, the report will be panel beat in a way that will reflect the wishes of the political leaders.
The political class. All right.
And just to add on that, we can also wish away the fact that the leader of a Third Way Alliance, Kuro Court, has moved to court to question the constitutionality and the way BBI is being organized. So we will